Hello everyone and welcome to another video. How is it going and how was your weekend? For me it was a nice weekend, and I got a chance to change my glasses, which was, to be honest, a very good change since, finally, I am starting to see the world in full HD resolution. So regarding this game, I think we have finally found a dedicated item made only for Volibear. To bring you up to speed, we started the game with an invade. It was a 4v4 and they had the upper edge, but thanks to some well-placed E-spells, we managed to get some kills. From the looks of it, this Jinx is a valuable player. So I decided to try to help my bot side to get ahead and easily win the game. To my surprise, the only one who is winning is Aatrox, and he is not a team player. In other words, he doesn't rotate, stays in his lane, and doesn't even respond to my calls. Meanwhile, our bot side had a mentally challenged Alistar. I think he got the mad cow disease. He kept engaging at the wrong times, quite alone frankly, even without me or the Jinx. And as a result, Jinx ended up dying alone under the tower. And it kept going like this for the whole early game until Thresh left the lane and started ganking my mid laner. In the midst of this chaos, I thought to myself, is there anything that I can do to switch the tides of the game? It seems like I can win against Viego in a 1v1. But unlucky for me, the only one that wanted to help me in getting any objectives was the bad mid laner. He seemed like a nice guy, just a bad player, which is acceptable in this ELO since we are around Plat 2. If the player has a nice attitude, even if he's playing bad, you can let it slide. But having an ego while being bad is like putting salt on a wound. I can't let it go like that. Some flame will be ignited at a certain time in the game, and possibly Riot will ban me for 1 week or so I refrained from talking. When I sensed the smell of ego mixed with bad calls or bad plays, the only solution for us to win this game was to project ourselves from the early game into the late game, and sit on top of Jinx. This is the only way I can see myself winning this game against their composition. For me to pull the 1v9, it would be a hard feat since we are not ahead. Everyone on the enemy team is starting to get their core items, and their team is made of champions that can counter our gameplay. Hence, I decided to play backward. In other words, I would engage but only to bait the enemy team into using their resources and then disengage. It's like starting a fight and backing out to cancel the fight so that the enemy team keeps wasting their time, as long as they are distracted with virtual fights and not ending the game. We are in a good place. The goal is to use our bad allies as dummies and bait the enemy team into doing damage to these players, while Jinx DPSs the whole fight uninterrupted. We will use the bear to distract the enemy's attention, focus their crowd control onto our lovely bear, and hopefully, we will come out victorious in the team fight. This is just a huge speculation, but the only thing that is keeping me sane in this game is that I'm just waiting to build Navori's Flickerblade and start enjoying the game. To be fair, this item is truly a nice and fun item. With this item, you can enjoy Volibear almost to his full potential. It is rare to be able to do something and get more value out of it just by doing it. Let's say if you just keep gaining money from saying hi to people. The fact that saying hi to people gives you a good feeling, but on top of it, you get $1 every time you say hi to someone. That is the same thing with Navori's Flickerblade. That feeling is very nice the longer the game goes, and even if you are losing, you don't feel the loss as much as you are trying to experience the new build. So yeah, this build needs some refinement. The only one that I found who is abusing this build is the Brazilian player. Thanks to him, we are now playing this item mainly on Volibear in every game. The runes or the first and last items are still debatable, and I am currently still seeking the optimal route to enjoy this build to its fullest. Now this is a common thing that happens in League of Legends. You lose the early game and try to play with others in the hope of compensating for your loss. In some situations, you end up with the one that you just lost to rotating into the same place that you are trying to get some value from, and you die again. That type of decision-making would induce some giving up feelings, making you desperate to either try again or surrender the game. Around objectives, to be honest, we have somewhat 4 engagers and an immobile ADC. Alistar wants to do the perfect combo, Lissandra wants to do the perfect engage, and I try to kill everyone in the team fight. Jinx is alone trying to kite against their Thresh, their Viego, and their Diana. It seems as if the enemy team got the better engage. Thresh can counter our engages perfectly, and Viego will benefit from any kills that happen in the team fight. So fighting randomly in the hope of miraculously having something go our way is almost impossible. Hence, the moment I died twice, I knew that this game was not about me. If, in other words, we had a bad ADC, I think I would have refused to surrender, knowing that we were losing 100%. Not surrendering doesn't mean that I know we can win. Sometimes I just keep playing the game to experience it much longer. But hope is as slim as the shadow of the sun at the first sunrise in the morning. You never know what can happen in the late game. This is a major rule in League of Legends. And just like that, with the mentality that we will play the game until the end, we ended up stealing a Baron buff. That, ladies and gentlemen, might seem like it won't contribute much to the game. Maybe you are right, but the psychological and mental weight of denying someone who only knew victory since the start of the game is like a shock. Someone that was playing very well the whole game just lost the Baron against one guy randomly. I'm sure someone on his team will say something, and that will create a chain of tilted events. The tiniest bad call will look like a huge deal, and the enemy will start imagining themselves losing. On the other hand, we are already losing. You can't imagine yourself living the same thing. You can't say, I imagine myself in Hawaii or in the Caribbean islands, while you are swimming in the Caribbean. You only imagine things that you are not currently living. And since we are living in defeat, we imagine ourselves winning. The enemy is already winning, and the only thing they can imagine is losing the game. Hence, we are aligning ourselves with our vision. Regarding our way of playing the game, there is one rule. Our hope is around Jinx. If Jinx plays well, we will win. If Jinx plays badly, we will lose. I was thinking to myself, maybe I can split push, but if I split push while I am the only one seeing that Jinx is our win condition, it's like throwing yourself off the edge of the world hoping that you can fly. You might ask yourself, why don't you try to fly from the ground like any normal bird? It is simply delusional. It would be a delusional call to leave my win condition in the hope of a lesser version of winning. Hence, I will check the loss and shadow Jinx, crossing my fingers in the hope that my teammates will heed the charge, look at the game, and realize they are only making it worse. This exact moment symbolizes how you should play around a good, immobile ADC. Let's say that we have a similar setup. The center of this fight would not look as crystal clear as it does right now. We have one path. The enemy team is in front of us. Our carry is behind us. There is no other way for the enemy to reach our MVP except through us. Hence, if we endure, we win. This is your traditional 101 fighting tactic that has been used since the start of humanity. Have defenders and carries. The team with the best equilibrium between defense and attack will win. I took this fight and ingrained it in my mind. Whenever I have a reliable ADC, this is how we play the game. I will try to convince my team to group, make a line in the location where we have the superior advantage. That will force the enemy team into fighting through us, not around us. And hopefully without anyone split pushing the game. With that, we went from losing the early game to creating one fight that symbolizes our first victory in this game. To win this game, we don't need Elder, we don't need Soul, and we don't need a Baron buff. We need to outlast the enemy and end the game in one fight. This is your go-to tactic when you have reliable carries, and you feel that if you reach the late game, you can win. The other thing is that you need to listen because even though I am the shot caller, randomly, someone in my team will make a call and chase someone. Jinx is our win condition. If Jinx says we don't fight, I need gold, then we don't fight. We need gold, and we will try to give her the gold she needs to finish her items. Of course, the enemy can catch Jinx and kill her instantly, but if that happens, it should include a teachable moment. Because as I say, if someone is playing well the whole game and makes only one mistake, at least you can use their previous deeds to cover that mistake and let it go without flame. Now, since we have reached a new stage of the game after 30 minutes, it is the late game. The late game is a totally different game in League of Legends. Imagine if you play League of Legends from the start having 4 items and you are level 16. I'm sure that you will experience a totally different game than playing at level 1 with basic abilities against someone that can fly through the walls. In this instance, against Ashe, the moment she doesn't have her summoner spells, she's as dead as the roadkill that you come across on the highway. Beyond dead. There is no other scenario where Ashe will survive my engage with this build. If she doesn't have her summoner spells, she at least needs to have her ultimate ready or ghost and flash. She needs to land her ultimate while kiting and make perfect spacing so that I die without even touching her. This exact moment, sir. This revelation allows us in certain moments to stand on top of Jinx and work with her. If I see a potential kill while our carry is 100% safe, no matter what the outcome, I will gladly trade my life for the lives of the enemy opponents standing in front of us. With this, my dear viewers, our time has reached an end. I hope that you have enjoyed another game with Navori. I was planning to test another build, but I couldn't help myself, and kept playing with this item, and to be honest, all the games were a comeback. So until the next one, do the usual. Leave me a comment, drop a like, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe since it is much appreciated. As always, take care everyone, and peace.